Hello and welcome to I Am Geek. This is episode 77. We're back here again for another episode. Before we get started, I just want to say it is Monday, October
22nd.
22nd. I don't want to be Debbie Downer to start this episode, but I am a wrestling fan. I know the other guys aren't, but I was watching Monday Night Raw tonight. And the Universal Champion is a guy named Roman Reigns. And he came out and announced in real life, like this is not part of the storyline, that he has leukemia and is going to have to basically quit wrestling for a while to talk about all that. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him because he is puts on a great show and great guy. And he asked for everybody just to send prayers to him. So if you're the praying kind of person, send a little prayer to Roman Reigns. He's been through a lot in his career and he's made it all the way to the top.
Well, he's dealt with it in the past. He's had it for 11 years.
Yeah.
And got past it, and now it's back again. So
yeah.
So
that's crazy. Not to be Debbie Downer, but I just want to put that out there.
He can do it.
He can do it. He'll be back. This is not the last time we'll see Roman Reigns. So let's go on to episode 77 of I Am Geek. Stephen Buckley will be on with us later this week. We had some technical difficulties. So we're just going to keep plugging on, and we are going to dive into something that we didn't get to talk about last week of our trip down to Orlando. And that was my Universal Studios portion of the trip where I went to Halloween Horror Nights 28. I went 2 nights. Katrin was supposed to go. Katrin's here. Chris is here. Hello, guys.
Hey. Hi.
Katrin was going to go with me, but we can get into
talked me out of it.
we'll get into that later. Why you didn't go? For those that don't know what Halloween Horror Nights is, every year at the end of September through October, Universal Studios Orlando, which is a theme park in Orlando,
Really?
put on their Halloween event, and it's much different than what we talked about last week. It's much different than Mickey's Not So Scary. This is supposed to be a scary event, opposed to Mickey's. It's not supposed to be a scary event. Not so scary. So so this is their take on it, where they do haunted houses, scare zones. They have people dressed up and all kinds of stuff going on. So this year I was really excited about going. First off, they had a ticket deal that you buy 1 ticket and they give you 2 nights for the price of 1. So I was excited. I was going to get to go twice while I was there. And it was sort of an all 80s themes, which I love the 80s. Yeah, so I was like, this is going to be cool. It's all 80s. They're going to have Poltergeist as a house. They're going to have Stranger Things is going to be the big thing. Netflix Stranger Things is going to be there. Halloween 4. Trick or Treat. They're going to have a scare zone for killer clowns from outer space, all kinds of stuff. We'll go through all of it here in a minute. But so I was excited about it until I got there, I think.
Aww. No, that's not good.
I was already tired, so I was tired. And it was rainy when I got there. I was like, oh, and the crowds were ridiculous. I've been going to this event for a long time, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I think it's grown to the point where it's outgrown the place that it's at, if that makes sense. Because it was just hard to walk. Anyways, so I got there, finally got into the event. The thing that I think what got me started in a bad mood at the beginning. We'll get to good stuff in a minute, I promise. When I got there because we were at Disney, our Disney trip. So I waited till like 8 o'clock to go. The event opens at 6:30, but I was helping get the kids to bed and all that stuff. And last year and every year before, if you went at 8 o'clock, parking was free because of City Walk. Because people go to City Walk that's where it's sort of like downtown Disney for Universal. So if you go after 8, parking was free. So I got there after 8 thinking, okay, I won't have to pay $22 for parking. which will be good because I didn't have $22 to pay. And I get there and it's like parking $22 until 10 p.m. And I'm like,
Oh,
got to be kidding me. So they realize they realize, hey, we're getting more and more people here. Think about how much parking we could sell, if you want to call it that. So it was $20, and if I wanted to go in to the event, I had to pay $22. And I immediately tweeted out something saying, "What's up with this Universal? You just randomly changed it to 10 o'clock." And surprisingly, I immediately got a response back from Universal. They sent me a message saying, "Sorry, that's new this year because of Halloween Horror Nights that they decided to do that." And then after Halloween Horror Nights is over, it'll go back to 8 o'clock.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So Disney has the vacation club thing. Can these places do like a parking club where you like
parking is ridiculous. Like
lease out a space for whatever you want it.
I mean, they don't even wash your car when it's there. $22 to park your car.
Oh yeah. Just so you know, pricing is going up or has gone up at Disney as well if you're not staying on site.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like it's $30-something for the premium spots up front where the plugins are for the nice Teslas and such. But it's well, those are actually I don't think those are as expensive. It's those are up front with the premium spots, so they're like $30-something.
That's where we're gonna park.
35, I think.
Okay.
That's where we're gonna park.
Yep.
Well, thankfully, I have an annual pass for Disney, so I don't have to worry about parking.
Oh no. Yeah.
And we stayed at DVC Resort, so we don't have to worry about paying the parking fee at the resort, which is ridiculous too. But so Universal doesn't have any of that. It's just like, I think if you have an annual pass there, you can
probably
it's included.
At least get a discount or something.
Yeah, but so I wasn't, but they responded and they seemed nice and apologetic. So I was like, oh, thanks for doing that. So that was nice of them to respond. I told them I'd give them a shout out on the show.
No.
But I thought, okay, well, that's it. It'll get better. It'll get better. I'm going to run through a list of, okay, here's the thing. Last year when we did this episode, I had a countdown of, least favorite to favorite house. I don't really have that this year because this is killing me to say this. This is the first year that I've been to Halloween Horror Nights where I didn't have any desire to go through a house twice. I know. I was there basically the first night I made it through 8 houses. There's 10 houses. And the only reason I went back for the second night is because I wanted to hit up the last 2 houses. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to go through the houses. There's 10 of them, just real fast, and the scare zones. And then there's one show that I didn't even bother going to see. Now, if you look up on Twitter, for the majority on Twitter, it's going to say this is the greatest Halloween Horror Nights ever. I love it. Better and better every year. For an event, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever been to. But from what I've come to expect, it wasn't as good as previous years. In my opinion. It's going to be The Last Jedi all over again.
No. Neither of us went, so we can't rag on it.
Yeah.
I think what would make this, especially with 10 houses and like 5 scare zones in a show, and then the food, I think why the people that love it so much are people that have an annual pass to the event that can just go whenever they want and don't have to worry about trying to get as much in. B, people that go on what they call a RIP tour, which basically you have a private tour of the event and they take you straight up to that house and you don't have to wait in line. Or C, you're part of media and you get the same treatment, front of the line, basically access. You don't have to wait in any line.
You're media. Come on.
I know. Where's my media pass? Oh well.
Yeah.
I guess not in the eyes of Universal. uh, so, and then they have like their version of a fast pass. I couldn't even tell you what it's called. Right, I don't know what it's called, but you have to pay like $80 to get the fast pass thing, and that will only give you one fast pass line. There's like two lines: a regular line and fast pass line. That you can only use that once per house. So you're paying $80 to go through the 10 houses once, on top of the $80 you pay to get into the event.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So I did not get one of those.
Oh.
Oh, really?
I mean, just think about it. If you pay $80 for a ticket, you pay $80 for that pass, you pay $22 to park.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money
Yeah.
to go through.
I don't do math.
Yeah, I don't do math either.
Don't do math.
To go through some
That's
haunted
a lot
houses.
of numbers.
And they do have some of their rides open, which was another disappointment. They did not have the Jimmy Fallon ride open, the new one. The Fast and Furious ride was only open for like the very beginning of the night, so I missed that. They did have Mummy, Men in Black, Transformers was open for part of the night, so the rides don't even stay open the whole night. They close them down. They had the Harry Potter ride open. That's probably my favorite part of just being able to walk through Diagon Alley at nighttime with like hardly anybody in there. So get to explore that.
Did they have Dementors flying around? They should have.
No, they
Dementors
should,
flying
but they
around.
don't. In one of the Universal parks, it's either in Japan or Singapore. I forget. They have the mentors that go around the Harry Potter area during Halloween Horror Nights, but for some reason they're not allowed to do that in Orlando. I don't
That's
know why.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. For many years,
Dementors are people too.
yeah, for many years they weren't allowed to do anything in the Dr. Seuss land when they had it over there. So I guess it's just the agreements they have with those companies or writers or whatever just won't allow them to do Halloween stuff, which doesn't make sense for the Harry Potter part because when I think of Halloween, I sort of think about wizards, and Harry Potter. And
That's
stuff.
Christmas. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's Christmas.
It's both.
They show the Harry Potter movies at Christmas.
Yeah.
That's when they show.
Well, they saw
on Freeform.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
when witches and
Freeform,
wizards.
they just show Harry Potter.
People dress up as witches and wizards on Halloween. I know because I saw a bunch of them.
And the Fast Pass for Universal is the Universal Express.
Express, yeah. Well, the Express line
call it.
wasn't. I mean, some of those lines were long too. Anyways, all right. So, full disclosure, I do have a special pass. It's not an Express pass. It's not a media pass. I do have a special pass. It doesn't get me to the front of the line. It just gives me a time to come back. I still wait the entire. So if like Stranger Things was 102 minutes, I would wait 102 minutes to get on. So just so you know, I have this special pass.
Is that kind of like having an anniversary button and getting things? That have an anniversary?
Even if it's not your anniversary.
No.
I thought about that.
Because mine lasts 365 days a year.
Don't give me a hard time about it. My free cake.
I still wait the
You said you
same.
didn't get a bite of my cupcake.
I still wait the same amount of time as everybody else. I just
Not
have
a lot.
some medical conditions. And I'm very appreciative of Disney and Universal for having this kind of thing for people with medical problems, because there's many years that I went to Disney where I missed half the stuff. I just told my family to go on the rides and I will wait for you somewhere. Just call me or I'll find you afterwards because I would be indisposed. So there we go.
There you go.
Anyways, so the house is the big house for the year with Stranger Things. Longest line. That first night I was there, I did not see it under 102 minutes. Like the line.
Yeah.
I know. It was.
That's crazy.
So I didn't do Stranger Things the first night I was there. That's one reason I came back. Then they had Halloween 4, which is the lesser known Halloween movie, I guess. He comes back to find his niece or something. I don't even know. It's been so long since I've seen it.
I don't remember. Yeah, the third one, he wasn't even in.
Yeah, third one he
right?
wasn't in, which is it's a good Halloween movie, but it's not a Michael Myers Halloween movie. It's about the masks that basically take control of children.
Oh, which I went and we can talk about later, but I went and saw Halloween this past weekend, the new one.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear about that. Anyways, then they had Poltergeist, which is based on the '80s movie Poltergeist. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
I never got through that movie. I never got through all of it. It was too disturbing for me.
Too many clowns.
No, wait. Poltergeist is. Oh, I'm thinking of Exorcist. No.
Yeah, Poltergeist.
I never saw Poltergeist though.
Is the one with the little girl that says "They're here."
Yeah, I've seen that scene, but I've never actually watched Poltergeist. I don't know.
Pretty creepy when you're a kid.
Yeah,
freaked me out.
I don't know. It might not be creepy anymore because I put on Children of the Corn the other day. And that's supposed to be really creepy, and it's just ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's not scary whatsoever. I'm sorry. Tangent. Continue your story.
Anyway, so Poltergeist, I went through Poltergeist. So Halloween 4 and Stranger Things were the two that I did not go through the first night, which we will get to later. Poltergeist I went through. The problem that I had most of the night with all the houses is that when you're in a haunted house, if you haven't been in one, there's people dressed up. They call them scare actors. And they jump out at you or they do something to try to scare you. Every house that I went to, this either happened 2 people in front of me or 2 people behind me. Never me. Nobody ever jumped out at me. Nothing happened. So I spent the conga line walkthrough in these houses either looking in front of me trying to see what's going on or looking over my shoulder to see what was happening.
Oh.
So that's one reason that I was like, this year just wasn't good for me. It was good for other people, but not good for me. But in Poltergeist, they had like big giant puppets that they would use as these like ghost looking things from Poltergeist. They had a kitchen scene where a steak, I guess in the movie, there's like a piece of meat, a steak, and it slides across the counter.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Ooh,
but so that was in there, and
it's very creepy.
It was. You go through the kitchen, and it's on your right, and it just sat there, and it didn't move. It was broken.
Oh.
So you saw where it was supposed to move, and it just sort of sat there, and you're just like, because I'd seen video of it. I was like, oh, that's what was supposed to happen, and that did not happen. So that didn't work. Some other effects didn't work when I walked through. The puppet thing was cool. They had the clown from it. That was cool. I mean, it looked.
Wait a minute. You're saying these are effects? They don't have real poltergeist in there? Wow, that's cheap. What a ripoff. It's false advertising.
I know. They had the lady. I don't know if Chris Cater, do you remember the old lady?
Oh yeah.
They had somebody dressed up as her there. It was funny. Awesome. With her voice, like they had a recorded of her voice saying stuff.
That's awesome.
So it was, everybody's saying it's probably the best house of the night. For me, it because I missed everything. Half the time I just felt like I was walking through sheets because they had like sheets everywhere. So it was okay. If I'd walked through it again, it might be different. They had a house called Trick or Treat, which is based on the movie Trick or Treat. Have you guys seen that movie?
I've been trick or treating before, but I haven't seen.
Is that with it's got the little kid with
Sam.
the bag on his head?
Well, yeah, he's not a kid. But
yeah.
He
looks
like a kid.
Kid looking.
Sam. His name is Sam. Yeah, he's got this lollipop.
Yes.
The pumpkin.
Yeah.
got a chunk out of it.
Is that also the one with Anna Paquin?
Yes.
That she turns into a werewolf? Okay.
So basically,
Yeah, I've seen it.
spoiler.
This is an 80
I
Trick or Treat?
didn't realize that was a spoiler. It's been a while since I've seen it. I think it was 2000s.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess.
But I think like the movie, like, yeah. Anyways.
No. Yeah. Oh.
So it's like the movie is like different stories. It's like the movie's divided up into different stories, and they all sort of connect together.
Yeah, 2007.
Oh, gosh, no, I probably haven't seen it.
It's sort of like a indie hit, or what's the word I'm thinking of, Chris?
Cult.
It's a cult.
Yeah,
it's a cult classic.
Yeah. I think they're making a second one, or they're talking about making a second one. Anyways. Sorry, I had some problem there. Went through that. They had a scare zone last year that was brilliant, of Trick or Treat, that you walk down one of the streets and it had the houses on each street, and it was like you're going trick or treating down this street, and it had all the characters from the movie. So basically, they took those props, put them in a house, and added some stuff to it. It was good. I actually got to go through that one twice, because when I went through the second night, I went back, there was like no wait, and I just like walked right in. So it was good. I mean, I didn't get scared, but again, that first time going through, I missed all the pop outs and stuff. They were behind me or in front of me.
Oh.
And I'd be like, "Oh, look, there's something going on up there." The second time I went through, it was better. I got to see more of what was happening, so that was good. And then they had Blumhouse, which is a movie company or whatever, that puts out The Purge and Happy Death Day. So they had like a mashup of The Purge and Happy Death Day in one house. It was okay. If you hadn't seen the movie, you would have been very confused by the Happy Death Day part, because it's like Groundhog Day, so they just played the same scene over and over again, so you kept walking through the same room in the house.
Oh.
I'm sure people were like,
I just saw
"Wait, we just walked? Yeah, I just saw. What's going on?"
What kind of cheap house is this?
Well, it could have been like 80s video games. You know how like they would have these mazes, and you go through, and it's like, is this not the same place I've already been? And you had to go to the door on the right this time, or something like that.
Yep.
It's just the background of an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon. You're just running past the same thing over and over again. That's what it is.
How big is this house?
It's funny. So I think that's all of the IP houses, which means intellectual properties like movies or TV shows. And then they have their originals, which the original houses have always been my favorites that they had. This year, I don't want to say they felt a little lazy, but they sort of felt a little lazy.
A little lazy.
Like they just said, "Hey, here's an idea. Let's do it." Like they had a house called Carnival Graveyard, and I'm like, "This is going to be cool." It takes place in this old, decrepit carnival, that's been like abandoned for years. Like, think of all the stuff they could do with this.
Mm-hmm.
You could have like ghostly apparitions, carnies, all kinds of stuff. Well, they didn't decide to go that route. They decided to, okay, we have this old abandoned graveyard. What are we going to stick in it? Crazy hillbillies. That will be fun. So it was just like crazy hillbillies
that are
taking over this abandoned carnival, and they would jump out at you and go, "What are you doing here?" Stuff like that. And that was it.
Man, that scares me.
It's just a bunch of old folks.
If you're
people on their lawns,
would that be scary though? If you're a Yankee though, like you come into that and you're like, but to us, like,
yeah, to us we're just like, oh, hey, cousin.
Every day.
That's my uncle father.
Yeah. like they were all like, most of them just looked like hillbillies, and then there was this one that popped out of this hole that had like a doll's head that was like cut off, glued on like a gas mask on front of his face, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm like, what is happening? Like it was like, and again, I missed some of the scares because of just the way the conga line goes. But it was one of those houses when you got out of it, you go, what? What was that? What did I just go? What did I just go?
I don't think you went through a house. I think that's a bunch of hillbillies that live out back behind Universal. You just kind of wandered in their encampment.
But it looked cool. It didn't look as cool as some of their other houses, but it looked cool, especially the facade of this old carnival. But I felt like they just sort of, to me, missed the mark. They could have done something different than crazy hillbillies that just said, "Here's a place to live." That's what it felt like. The actual first house I went through when I got there was called Scary Tales Dead Ever After, or Deadly Ever After, and that is sort of like they've had many houses called Scary Tales. Basically, it's what it would be like if the fairy tales that we know of went horribly wrong. So in this version of it, the Wicked Witch is actually won and it's taken over and has affected all the fairy tales. So you're walking through. And you're walking through all the fairy tales. So basically, when you get there, when you walk through the door of the soundstage, there's this big, huge castle, and the Wicked Witch is standing on top of it, yelling at you and stuff. And
get off my lawn.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much, pretty much. But it looked really cool. It looked like a big castle. She looked cool up there, but I know it's safety reasons. But she was connected to this big, long, black cord so she wouldn't fall. And it was very prominent, and you saw it, and you're just like, hey, there's an actor that's hooked the cord up there. Basically telling you to get off her lawn. I think they could have done it a little different where you don't see the big black cord that she's just standing there with. It's like she has a tail or something.
Maybe she did.
Maybe she did.
Made fun of her.
So
you
go through a bunch of the fairy tales. I think my favorite fairy tale that I went through, they did a Hansel and Gretel, and so you're in the house, like the candy house or whatever, and you see the creepy old lady over here, and then from your right, this is the one that actually got me. I mean, not got me, but I actually saw. I didn't have to look ahead or behind. Hansel popped out. And he said something like, "Oh, it's so good," or something like that.
But Gunter from The Simpsons?
That's what it sounded like. He's like, "Oh, it's so good," and it made me laugh. I was laughing. I was like, "This is hilarious."
So was it Hansel and Gretel that were evil then, or they?
No, I think Gretel was dying or something, but Hansel just popped out from the wall at the side, and it just made me laugh. It's all good. Oh, yeah. I don't remember what he said.
There's a fun episode of Disenchantment on Netflix that deals with a Hansel and Gretel type thing. It's really funny.
Really?
Suggest watching it. Yeah.
And then they had a big bear. They have this character that everybody calls the HHM bear that pops up in other houses, but it looks like a bear. It's like a big bear suit, like a lifelike bear suit, and he popped out of a wall. But I sort of missed him because he was sort of behind me, and I looked back and saw him. So yeah, that was that house. I missed half the stuff. Then they had a house called Slaughter Cinema, which was like a bunch of, you were like at a drive-in movie, like the facade is a drive-in movie, and then you walk through a bunch of B movies. So it had like Cult of the Beast Boy and Pumpkin Guts and all these like random. And so when you'd walk to a scene, it would have the movie poster, and then you'd walk through and actually be in the movie. So it was cool. It was like you're walking through a bunch of B movies. Again, I missed most of the stuff, and that's just going to be a problem now with just how they rush you through the stuff, rush you through the houses, and that's why I think if you have an annual pass to it, you get to go a few times, see the houses, it makes more sense. But so that one was okay. It was good. It was sort of their comedy house, sort of funny. Then they had a house called Dead Exposure Patient Zero. This is a house they had years ago called Dead Exposure. It's basically, but they did a part 2 of it or whatever. Basically, you're going through in this one the streets of Paris has been taken over by zombies, and the way they did it, everything is sort of in black and white, and it's so there's sort of strobe effects. So you'll be walking in the dark, and then it'll flash, and then there'll just be zombies all around you.
That's cool.
So it's like you're walking through a black and white comic or something.
Movie.
Yeah, movie or something.
Yeah.
So it was cool. To me, I liked it. The only thing it was just too much strobe light. Like, it was just constant strobe light. Mm-hmm. So, like, midway through, you're just sort of getting sick, you know? I have a little static. But anyways, hope it's still recording. So that one was okay. I like the fact just not so much strobe light. It was crazy. And then the last house is called Seeds of Extinction. Out of the original houses, this may have been my favorite one. Basically, the earth has been taken over. All the humans have died, and plants have morphed into these creatures. So everything is plants. So you have lots of plants type creatures jumping out at you. And so they use lots of puppets. So it's sort of like Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, okay.
So that was sort of cool. So you had like these puppets, like they'd come out like these little plant creatures at you. And there was a lot of Easter eggs and stuff in it from other stuff. So you would, walk through this convenience store, and there'd just be plants everywhere jumping out at you. So that was sort of cool. But then what? So that's all the houses. Well, okay. So I went back and I did Stranger Things, which we could get to that story towards the a little bit. But Stranger Things was actually really good. I liked it. I hit pretty much all the jump outs, and they had, unlike when they did The Walking Dead, they actually used characters from the Stranger Things. So you had actors that looked like the characters from Stranger Things. So you had like Will, and you had like Hopper, and all of them in there jumping out at you. It wasn't
That's
like
cool.
so much as scary, like not scary jump out, but like one of the kids would be like jump out and be like, Will, where are you? And stuff. And you had the Dustin like in the woods, and he's like got his flashlight looking for him and stuff. And then so it was really cool, and the creatures looked amazing. The Demogorgons looked amazing.
Yeah,
it looked
That's
like
cool.
They were from the show, and they like some of them even had like their face would like do the open up and close.
Nice.
Nice.
And so basically, you went through the season 1, and that was my. I know some people hate on me for that, but that was probably my favorite house, because it was just really cool. It was like you're walking through the show.
I mean, that's probably what Universal wanted to be the best one. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's lower on a lot of lists that I saw, but for me, it was the top of. If I made a list, it would probably be the top because it hit all the pop outs. I got to see everything going on. It looked like the show. The set was amazing. The characters or the actors they picked to play the characters looked like them, and over half of that cast is children. And they didn't have children in there; they had adults that actually looked like his little kids.
That of.
So that was cool. Yeah. There's a video online of the cast, some of the cast going through the house, which is pretty funny.
Nice.
So that's it for the houses, which leads us to the selfie zones. I mean, scare zones. I made a comment on Twitter that the selfie has greatly changed Halloween Horror Nights. And it's true. All scare zones have now pretty much become selfie zones, where people are walking around with their cameras in hand, getting their picture taken with people dressed up in costume. So think of it as going to Disney World and not having to wait in line to get your picture taken with characters, just wandering around the streets, getting your picture taken with characters, except these characters have blood and stuff on them.
No.
There was no scaring going on. There was nobody hopping out or popping out like they used to have. They used to have. It was just there's somebody dressed up as a vampire Michael Jackson. Let's go get our picture taken with him.
Mm.
And they did this little show. Like, it was a waste.
Yeah, I saw your videos walking through like the 80s section or what. And yeah, it was like it was weird to me. It's like Halloween, ooh, Michael Jackson, Prince. And
it was supposed to be, it was called Vamp 85, and it was supposed to be like, it was New Year's Eve, 1984, and vampires have come out to play, if you want to call it that. So they had a bunch of 80s characters, like people, like actors and stuff from the 80s, but they had them dressed up like vampires. So you had a Prince, you had Michael Jackson, you had Boy George, Madonna, all these people, but they were vampires. And supposedly at the strike of midnight, they would attack everybody. And so they did the strike of midnight many times over during the night. They had the ball that would drop. They would do this they would do this dance show. The ball would drop, and then the vampires would attack.
It kind of makes me think of Zombieland. Is that the movie I'm thinking of with Bill Murray in there, and they think he's a zombie, and they like shoot him?
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like that would have been better as well, or it sounds kind of like they're all zombies more than the vampires. You know, they're just kind of walking around. Or whatever, but I don't know.
So I didn't really. It was I had to walk through that one the most because just to get to the houses because they're so spread out. You spend your whole night walking. So it didn't really do anything for me. They had one called Twisted Traditions. I got that one in the Harvest Mix-Up. They had one that basically all it was little vignettes from each house, like static vignettes. Like for the Poltergeist, there was a TV sitting on top of a stand with static, and it said Poltergeist. They had one with a bike for Stranger Things, and it was just these little stages set up. Nothing going on the stages, no actors. It was just to walk through and get your picture taken by the name of the house. And they had guys on stilts dressed up like pumpkins walking through. And that was literally it for a scare zone. There was no scary. There was no jumping out. It was, hey, look, there's the bike from Stranger Things. Let's take a picture with it. And that was totally it. That was all it was. It was the dumbest thing, waste of space ever. They had, and I don't know if that one was the Harvest or Twisted Traditions. I'll have to look that one up because they both have sort of the same name. I don't know. Anyways, so then they had the other one was whichever it was in the area that was sort of in between Mel's Drive-In and you get back to like Animal Actors and stuff back there. That was like lots of people dressed up in these weird pumpkin creations and people dressed up like they were going trick-or-treating and stuff. It looked cool back in there. You probably saw a picture of that. There was like all the trees are full of jack-o'-lanterns, and it was just sort of eerie looking. Again, nobody jumped out at you. They walked through with shakers in their hands and would shake stuff at you.
Percussion.
So this was actually more like Universal, not so scary.
Not so scary.
Not so horror.
Not so horror.
And then they had a Revenge of Chucky scare zone. I thought, oh, here we go. You know, evil Chucky and his minion toys are going to scare people. No. They did like a show where Chucky puppet, it's like a guy controlling a puppet. It was sort of like Turtle Talk with Crush, except it was crazy doll talk with Chucky. And he would like point people out in the crowd and be like, hey, you, come here, I want to talk to you. And he would make fun of them. The time that I went through, he picked a lady to make fun of. He asked what was her job, and she said she didn't have a job. So he made fun of her for a minute, and then he was like, "What do you do?" And she goes, "I stay home and take care of my daughter." And he was like, "Okay, where's your daughter?" And she brought up her daughter, which was a person with special needs, and he thought he was going to make fun of, and he realized very quickly that no, that you don't do that. So it went from Chucky's like insult show to Chucky's, "Hey, how you doing? Glad you could come tonight." Yeah.
Gee whiz.
So that show sort of got derailed very fast.
Wow.
They had this is my least favorite part of the night. I went through this zone at the very end when it was towards the end of the night, and I thought about doing another house, but after I went through this one, I said, nope, I'm done. So they had these guys dressed up as monkeys, like Barrel of Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'll take a picture of them. Be cool, put it on our Twitter and stuff. So I walk up as I'm, tired, walking through and take a picture. So I start to take a picture, and this monkey guy pushes this button on his stupid barrel and shot a fire hose at me. It wasn't like a sprinkler. It was a fire hose that hit me right in the crotch.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
My whole shorts were soaking wet. It wasn't like I got you a little wet. It was soaking wet, like soaking wet. And I'm like, what are you? And I just looked at him like, yeah. Oh, so funny. And he's sitting there laughing. And I'm like, really? I mean, come on. So I just left after that. I was like, I'm done. And I just walked out of the park. Didn't even stop to look at anything. I just left. I'm like, that was dumb. Which I thought was, I guess if he just sprayed me a little bit, it would have been like, oh, that's so funny. But it was a powerful hose that he sprayed me with, because I wasn't like standing next to him. I was standing far back to take a picture. I was like, you could hurt. What if you hit somebody in the face with that? Like,
good thing you've had all the kids you want.
Yeah. I know. But the last Scare Zone was probably the best, but it wasn't scary at all. But they did Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is a fun movie that I've seen that I like. It's just so dumb. But basically, it looked like the clowns from the movie, exactly like the clowns of the movie. And they were just sort of walking around by the ice cream truck that they had set up. And again, it was another picture op. Nobody was trying to scare anybody. So all these scare zones were not scare zones. They're just picture ops, places to take pictures. And that was it.
No.
Which in the past, they've been scare zones where people will chase you and jump out at you and scare you. But I guess now that since the event is so popular, there's no room to do that. So they're just like, here, take our picture. And that is the era we live in. I've read on Twitter where guests have got furious when a scare actor did not take the picture with them like they wanted. And I'm like, really?
Gosh.
Come on. Like they're like hitting them and stuff and throwing stuff at them. And
oh gosh. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to one, but yeah, they had the guys with like skates on, and they would skate through, and then they would like slide, causing these sparks and everything. So yeah, it just doesn't sound like there's any room to do that anymore.
Yeah, they don't do anything like that anymore. Even the people that are on stilts basically stand in one spot and just stand there because they can't move. And they have to have people standing beside them saying, no flash photography, because it'll blind them. No flash photography, like the whole time. It was just like... And they got rid of Bill and Ted Show this year. It's no more. And they replaced it with the Academy of Villains, which is a dance show. They had a dance show. I did not go to the dance show.
That sounds scary to me.
I had no reason to go to a dance show. So they didn't have like a big people eater this year, because most people are like, who wants to go to the dance show? So that's Halloween Horror Nights in a nutshell. Now, if you didn't think I disliked it enough then, in a nutshell.
Another one?
Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing that really Maybe I should just put Nutshell in every title, and then we'll get to listen.
Probably not. That's probably.
How do I get another nutshell? I just got
Yeah.
out of a nutshell.
I went back the second night to give it another chance, and it only got worse from here. I went in, immediately went to Stranger Things, got my time to come back. Was the good person, waited my time, waited 90 minutes. Just sort of sat there and waited, walked around, went to the restroom, all that stuff. Waited my 90 minutes, went back to the line after the 90 minutes, went through all the way to the end of the line before you go in, where they scan your ticket thing. They scan my ticket, and the lady goes, "I'm sorry, I'm going to have to confiscate this." And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is an expired pass that you're illegally trying to use. I'm like, what are you talking about? The date's on it. It says the date on it. It says it doesn't run out until after I'm already left Orlando. The date is on. I'm sorry. No, you are using this illegally. It says in our system, and I'm confiscating this. And I was like, well, okay. And I pointed at it. I put my hand out to show her, and she immediately jerked her hand up in the air, high above her head, so I couldn't even, point at it. She said, "You cannot touch this. You cannot have this back." And I was like, what in the world is happening? I said, well, can I take a picture of it so I can show guest services? Okay, fine. And she held it, so made sure that I couldn't grab it. She held it. I took a picture of it, walked all the way back out of line, walked all the way to guest services, went in. They're like, "What can we help you with?" And I said, "I had this pass. It was confiscated by your people, saying that I was using an expired pass illegally and treating me like I was a criminal." And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "I took a picture of it." He's like, "Oh, good, you took a picture of it." So I showed him the picture. He looked it up in the system. Very nice guy, very nice. He said, "I'm so sorry. It's totally our fault. It was a glitch in the system." I said, "That's okay. Can you just..." He goes, "I'll make you a new pass. No worries." And then I said, "So do I have to wait again, like get another 90-minute wait?" He goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, "Here, actually, I can print you off this one-time express pass for one house. You just hand it to them, and you could go straight through." I'm like, "That's great. Thank you so much. It's so nice of you." Go back to the line. Go all the way through the line. Same lady standing there. I present my special one-time express pass to use for that house to make up for all that. Hand it to her. She scans it. She looks at me, tries to scan it again. "Where did you get this, sir? Where did you get this pass?" I said, "I got it at guest services." She goes, "Stand to the side. Call my manager." Like, what is happening here? And they'd already pulled over like 3 other people to the side. Like people like in their 30s. Like people who look like they go to work every day and they have like a regular life. Not like crazy like teenagers or something like that. And they were saying that their passes were expired. So I finally get her to look at me again. I go, "I'm the guy that was just here that you sent away. Here's my new pass that they..." Oh, I'm sorry. Let me scan that one. I'm so sorry. "Oh, yeah, you're fine. Just go on through." No sorry for treating me like I'm a criminal. Nothing. So I go all the way through and go through, and I was mad at that point. But it wasn't that, there was a glitch in the system. It wasn't that there was something messed up. It was how I was treated by, that would never happen at Disney.
No.
Never. Not that way. They wouldn't treat you like you're a criminal trying to steal from them. So I went through, I was mad, but Stranger Things was great. Went through that. Went through Halloween 4 because it's the only other one I didn't do, and then I left. I was like, I'm done. I didn't even get any of the special foods they had. They had like a special like waffle thing for Stranger Things, and I thought about getting it to try it, and it was like $10 for like an Eggo waffle and ice cream. I was like, nope, not doing that.
Wow.
So overall, I'm sorry if this has been a frustrating episode for people. I do not recommend Halloween Horror Nights this year or in the future until they get stuff fixed. unless you want to pay the extra money to have the RIP tour where you basically have a guide that takes you around. Because it is so crazy. They've sold out so many nights this year, and the pictures is just seas of people. Like it just looks dangerous.
That
It's
doesn't
like
sound
wall to
fun.
wall people.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know if I'll be going back next year.
No.
You should have just
Halloween,
went to
I mean,
Six
yeah.
Flags and lived in a coffin for however long you could.
There you go.
I
what
saw
you
that.
should have
So
done.
people paid money to do that, right?
Yeah, it's I guess to see how long they can last in there or something. It was like one of those type things. I think they had like bathroom breaks, scheduled bathroom breaks or something.
Well, that's not.
But yeah, you just have to stay in a coffin. I don't know if they have a lid that shuts on it or what. Like
It looked like it. I saw pictures of people emerging from them at the end of the thing, and I'm like, it looked like a legit old West coffin. Like,
Mine would fall.
why
And
would
if
you
you
pay?
want- well, if you won, like you would get like passes and everything, and you'd actually get to keep your coffin.
You're all set for
I
when.
don't know what. Yeah, you're ready to go. Yeah, it's weird. I don't want to go to a theme park and stand in
Six Flags.
or lay down in a coffin for however
All the
long.
Six Flags or just the Atlanta one? Or what?
I don't. It was,
No,
this one was
in Texas, I think.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is the one in Texas, like Dallas Fort Worth one. I'm good. I don't want to do that.
No.
I'm not Ryan Reynolds. I don't want to do that.
So we had a bunch of news happen this week. We can move on from Halloween Horror Nights. It's in the past now.
It's in the past.
It's in the past.
Let the healing begin.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. I'm sure it was fun for a lot of people.
Maybe.
For a lot of people had fun. Maybe it's because I don't drink. That's the problem. Maybe if I drank, it would have been a lot better.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Then you wouldn't have remembered anything to say on the podcast.
I'll be like, it was great, man. It was just like all this stuff was just happening.
Houses and things.
Oh no! The bad thing about that is you feel crappy afterwards. That's not a good trade-off.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So, big news I saw today: Wonder Woman, the movie, 1984.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984 has been pushed back pretty much a year, and Gal Gadot is very excited about it for some reason on Twitter. Yay, we got pushed back!
You should. Yay!
That's not a good.
Well, probably like we don't have to rush to the movie anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I don't know.
So the Flash movie was supposed to come out on the date, around the date that they pushed Wonder Woman 2, and that got pushed back, and so it opened up a date for them. And they're like, oh, we'll put Wonder Woman here, because they're like, oh, because it's during the summer, and we had the last one during the summer, did really well, so it's a good home for her. Sure.
There we go.
There you go.
Fun time. Chris, you have a story. You have a tale to tell, don't you? There's a new show on Netflix called The Haunting of Hill House. I have not watched this. I tried to watch the trailer, but I know you tell me that it doesn't revolve around small children. But all I've seen of it revolves around small children.
Oh.
You know when you're trying to get your son to ride a ride or Kate to ride a ride, and you're like, no, it's fine. It's going to be okay. I'm trying to tell you it's going to be okay. So yeah, The Haunting of Hill House there was a book. It was based and then did a movie with Liam Neeson called The Haunting. This is a totally different one. It's different from the book. It's different from The Haunting. Definitely different from The Haunting because it's good. The Haunting was kind of okay. It was kind of funny.
It was
kind of funny. It wasn't like
called. I thought there was another movie called The Haunting of Hill House.
No, there's something else that's different though. There's The Haunting, the old like 1966 or 50, I don't know what, really old black and white. And that one's more like the book. The Haunting with Liam Neeson is a little bit more like the book. This one has characters from the book, but it's kind of a completely different story. It revolves around a family. They live it. The parents basically go in and renovate houses for a living. And so they bought Hill House. It's like an old, decrepit, but huge mansion place with a bunch of statues inside for some reason.
Money pit.
Yeah, it's a money pit. Yeah.
Like that movie Money.
Yeah, it's just like the money pit, but with kids and ghosts. So it jumps back and forth in time. So the parts with the kids are in the past, and then the present is the kids grown up, dealing with their past of having lived in this house. Some of the kids kind of believe there were things that happened, some don't. And it just jumps back and forth between the two, and it's a really good. I mean, it's got great characters in it, good actors in it. They just do a really good job with it, because I watch horror movies and stuff, and my favorite ones are the more psychological ones that have a little more thought behind them. They're not just a bunch of jump scares and stuff like that, or just like disgusting things happening. Jump scares are fun, but I've never really watched a movie that made me just jump. Like I've been like startled or whatever, because like things just pop out, big sounds and everything. Until this one. There's a scene, and not going to ruin it for anybody, but there's a scene, a character's talking, and they're going to describe something that happened before, but you didn't see happen. So I was really interested in what they were going to say, because it could kind of open up some plot stuff and everything. I was like, oh gosh, they're finally going to talk about this, okay? And I'm really paying attention to this, and there's no indication of anything that's going to happen. And I'm just staring at this person's face, watching them talk. And then suddenly out of nowhere, they did this huge jump scare. And I was laying on the couch. And for a moment, not an inch of me was touching that couch. Because I leapt straight up. Now, if you talk to my wife, she says I fell off the couch. I about fell off the couch. Didn't quite fall off the couch, but I might as well have fell off the couch. Because oh my goodness, it was one of those things. I just started laughing immediately after it, because it came out of nowhere. It was so good. It was like the best like jump scare in a movie or anything I've ever experienced. And I've gotten people to watch the show. I was like, you got to see the show, you got to watch it. And the same thing that happens to all of them. Jump at this one part, they don't see it coming. It's great. I think I probably still beat them in height for how far I leapt off the couch, but but it's good. I highly recommend the show. It's really good. It's scary, intense.
I don't know.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't like torture. I mean, not really torture the kids or anything. But
see, that's my thing. It's not about being scared. It's about, since I have two small children, I don't like watching things, whether it's stuff like this or like a show where kids get sick or something. I don't like to watch stuff like that, because it just makes me think of my own kids, and it's like, oh, this could happen to, what if something happened to them, or that's
this
like the Punisher,
this prepares you.
Like the Punisher show on Netflix. I still have not watched the Punisher, because I'm like, I don't want to see his kids get gunned down and stuff, like his family. I don't want to see that. I don't want to put that in my head. So for this one, I watched half of the trailer, and I was just like, nope. That's all I said. I just said nope, and I just turned it off. Because the trailer starts with these two kids in bed, and they're like, "Mommy, there's ghosts in the house," or something like that, and I'm just like, "No, I'm good." Nope.
I had a friend who started watching it. He started watching it late at night. His wife had gone to bed because I told him to watch it, and he watched about like the first 5 minutes up until like the intro starts, where just kind of like and it shows all the names and everything. And he watched up until that. He's like, "Nope, try this again another night," and he stopped watching. Like,
Wow.
it's like I'll try tomorrow night with my wife at a much earlier time.
Yeah, I don't do. I mean, and plus, like, Cajun will tell you, like, one of the only things that creep me out are small, like, faceless children.
They all have faces.
Because it's like a kid size, and you're like, what do you do? What do you do? Kick a kid or something? No, you just be like, oh, it's a kid. I can't hurt the kid, so they're just gonna kill me. You know?
If it's faceless, I think you can kick it. I think it's fine.
It's okay.
I guess because Catron, like his family, had these faceless children that they would put in the corners.
Just one that
I think they multiplied.
You know,
and it's those ones they always have it like Cracker Barrel.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Another thing that's kind of fun about it, I didn't realize that. Like, I saw an article like about a few episodes in or whatever, that throughout the whole show, in the background are ghosts.
Yes.
Like, you don't see them if you're not paying attention. Yeah, they're mostly like blurred, like they're out of focus. They're like kind of hiding behind stuff. Like, one's on the piano, you only see hands under the piano, and it's creepy. Like, they're hard to spot. One is pretty much right in your face, and it's really creepy because they're just at like a dining room table, just like a kitchen table, just they're walking around having a conversation, and you just see a ghost face like in the window, like directly behind them while they're talking. Just look around. Look behind you. It's right there.
I saw that article and it made me go again for the second time. Nope. I was just like, not gonna watch it. Nope.
But that's like, you know, what was that taps the what was that show? The Ghost Hunters. Yeah, you're always looking for that stuff, and you're like, oh, is it there? And they show a little clip, and you're like, oh, it was something. But it wasn't.
Yeah, I watched those shows. I've always watched those shows. I don't watch them anymore because I think it's sort of old. It's like it's been how many years and you haven't found anything? So
because it's only like 5 or 10 minutes of like them talking, and then all of a sudden and here's something. It's commercial, you know, and then they come back and nothing, you know. And it's just like
any of those shows anymore, they just build it up way too much.
Oh my gosh, that's probably why I don't watch it as much anymore.
Yeah.
Shows.
But I do recommend this.
I watched. I have been watching the Purge series event on USA. And it's pretty good. What?
Don't say you could watch that one. I don't see how you could watch that one. Just the blatant beatings and killings.
That's the weird thing with me. When it's like adults, I'm like, whatever.
They probably deserved it.
Yeah, they probably deserved it. It's like, but when it's animals or kids, I'm like, no, I'm not watching that, or nope, I'm not having it. But when it's adults, I'm like, yeah, well, they shouldn't have been out.
Okay, there is one.
They should have had more clothes on.
Scene with kittens in it that you won't like.
Oh, see, I'm not watching it. It's not happening. You're not gonna there's nothing you could do to make me watch a ghost show about children and animals. It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's just one little thing with animals.
No, it's not happening. I don't care. I've turned stuff off for less than that. There's like one of the Call of Duty video games I never got because half the storyline was your dog that's with you fighting and he gets hurt. I'm like, I'm not playing that. Like, nope, it's not happening. But the Purge series has been pretty good. I mean, I'm surprised what they get away with on like cable now, because I mean it's violent and it's got language in it, and it's just like, oh, they can say that on TV now. Oh, I didn't know that. But it's like they follow the story of different people and what's going on with them, how they're trying to basically battle against the purge that's going on. So it's pretty interesting.
I watched the first season of that Dusk Till Dawn series. There's the movie Dusk Till Dawn is a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did a series on that. I watched the first season of it. It was actually pretty good. Like they did a fun little twist on it from the movie.
They had a house one here at Halloween Horror Nights with that, based on that show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, back when it was good. Anyway, so there's another show that I think we've all seen the first episode at least. Katrin is obsessed with it. He's probably seen it.
Well, I've only seen 2 episodes.
It's called Katrin, you keep going in and out your audio, so I don't know what it's going to sound like on my end.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Really?
You talk, and I see your mouth moving, and I hear static, and then you come in. I don't know.
That's strange. I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't say it.
So sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, listeners, for the if it comes through like that. I don't know why. Anyways, the show is called Curious Creations of Christina. Is it Christina?
Christine McConnell.
Christine
McConnell.
Just ruined the title right off the bat.
Well, it's
a long title.
It's a long title, and it's a very weird show.
It's weird but fun.
But fun. My take on it, and I'll let you guys give your take, is that this lady is very talented in what she does. It's like a baking show, pretty much. Very talented in what she does, but she has 0 personality. So how do they fix that? They put these puppets and creatures with her. Like, not personality, but like acting skills. Because when she talks, she's sort of like, I'm going to do this now, and here is this, and this is interesting. So they throw in the weird raccoon and mummified cat and wolf to sort of spice it up, right?
Well, yeah, but so I think it's a really neat idea.
Oh, it is a neat idea. Yeah.
So they take your regular old baking show that we've all seen many times, a cooking show, whatever you want to call it, and they instead of just interacting with you, the person watching the show, they're interacting with these characters, and there's kind of a storyline going on. So it's they're going to have somebody over at the house on one of the episodes, and so they're making these desserts for these guests or whatever, and that's similar to how they do, but it's this raccoon that's been run over.
It's not family friendly show.
And it's not family friendly.
No.
In fact, it almost, like, there were a couple times where I'm like, oh gosh, what kind of show is this? What are they getting ready to do? Because there's a wolf man that comes in or whatever, and I guess it's a wolf. I don't know, like a werewolf.
A werewolf, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like takes him upstairs to his room, and then you don't see her for the rest of the night. And you're just like, what's going on there? But and then. It's really strange, but it's so funny because they're the characters, or the puppets, I'll call them, don't realize that or don't know it's a TV show. So occasionally when she's talking to the camera, they'll say, "Who are you talking to? What's going on?
Yeah,
what is this?" And they'll make comments when she's talking about the things that she's making. And again, she's super talented, and the things she's made, and you're like, oh, that's a cool idea to do that, and they'll be watching her make this, like, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be quirky and almost kind of creepy. So I don't know that necessarily she doesn't have good acting skills. It's more of, it's just supposed to be like she's strange and actually when I saw the picture, I thought it was going to be more like a I don't know, like a Lemony Snicket's. I didn't know it was a cooking show when I first saw it. I thought it was just some weird series or whatever. And then when I saw it, I was like, wait a second, this is a baking show. What's going on?
And I thought it was going to be like let's show you how to make this stuff, but in a weird, fun, different way.
And it was.
Well, no. Because
No.
it's like, okay, we're going to make a house, a cake house.
The thing was ridiculous.
Here's where you start. And then it's like, once you get to this step, and she brings in the house
Yeah.
fully done. Once you get to this step, here's what you do. I'm like, well, how do you get to that step? What is going on?
Several hours to make that.
They didn't show how to carve it or anything.
Yeah.
A lot of it was like, it's just showing off these cool things that she's made. She gave a few hints on like the bone, making it out of a pretzel rod and like this butter cookie dough. And that was really neat, a good idea. And she went through almost every step with that. But some of those bigger, more intricate things, they're just on
it's funny. She's like, and just after you get to this point, just grab your airbrush tool. And I'm like,
right.
Who has an airbrush tool?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. It reminds me of those shows, those competition shows they used to have. They probably still have it, where it was like a Halloween theme, and you had to make this cake that's so tall and do all this, and it was a similar kind of thing, except that she can have as much time as she wants, basically. But they had to do it in under an hour.
I watched one of those today.
Yeah, they still have them. They have like 3 or 4 of them this year.
Sure.
There's like a gingerbread house one, the Halloween Wars.
I watched the pumpkin.
Where it's the pumpkin carver.
Today.
Yeah. With the cake artists and all that.
Speaking of the baking or cooking shows, have y'all watched the British Baking Show?
No, I have not.
Man, it's
watched
actually
a little bit of it.
Pretty good. It's weird because I think it's on PBS, right? I don't know, but it's on.
They have it on Netflix, yeah.
Right, but they're out in a field, in a tent, and like I don't know, just a big tent with all these ovens and things, and they're baking. And this is like in England, I'm guessing. So I'm imagining it's raining most of the time, right? I don't know, but it's interesting, and and it's funny because there's like this host of the show that is
Mary Berry.
British. I don't know who these people are, but they're apparently
Mary Berry.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
That's her name.
Okay, there's 2.
I'm hip with the British bakers.
Well, they're not bakers. They're just like these comedians or something. I think
she's like the main.
Yeah, one of the guys, he was on the IT crowd. He was the goth guy.
Oh,
funny.
That guy, he's on there.
Well, and I mean, like, there's these hosts that they just kind of walk around. It's like, and what are you making? It's not one of the judges, because there's the judges, and then they're probably famous chefs or whatever. But then there's this 2 women that are the hosts they're funny, but it's weird because you're like, who are those people? But it's a good bake show, if you want that kind of thing.
So, how many episodes of the Curious Creations have you watched? 2?
Just 2.
Just 2.
Yeah. I watched them.
I've just done the 1.
Yeah, I made it through 1.
Yeah. So
we'll watch
the first one. Is that when the werewolf comes?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so I didn't finish the second one because I think we were getting ready to start our last recording, but I can't remember what happens on the second one. But
they kidnap their neighbor, don't they, or something?
Yeah, they kidnap somebody.
I told you about it. Yeah, that's right. So they kidnap the neighbor comes over and is complaining about the noises, and so she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she had baked a cake and she was bringing him a piece of the cake, and in the meantime, while she's gone, they take her. The puppets take him down to the basement and tie him up to a table and put a gag in his mouth, and they're going to kill him or something. I don't remember exactly, but it was really weird.
Family friendly.
Oh no, yeah. Just don't. They said something about like just don't touch his nipples or something like that. It was,
and that's the title of this episode. Just don't touch the
Halloween
nipples.
Horror Nights. Just don't touch the nipples.
No, I don't think you should do that. So yeah, I'm interested to see the rest of the episodes just for the weirdness factor.
Yeah,
they're real short. Yeah. They're just 30-minute episodes, so it's like you can kind of breeze through the season, I'm sure. But
we're running long on time, but I did watch another Netflix new show that's out for like Halloween time called Creeped Out. It's like we
watched some of that.
It's like
Goosebumps.
Yeah, Goosebumps. It's pretty. It's for a teen creepy show, it's pretty good.
Cool.
I've only watched one episode, but it's like the first episode is this girl that wants to have the newest cell phone, and she gets this cell phone that basically takes over her life, and like it's like this very creepy like male Siri. I just want to be your friend. I just want to love you. And so it goes crazy. But the creepy thing is, like, every episode, basically the show is there's this creepy kid with this creepy mask that is following all these stories around, taking pictures, and it's creepy.
Yeah, it's based off of like an old like urban legend of like when you're taking pictures, like there'll be this like random kid or something with this mask in the background.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything. He never says anything, whatever. He just kind of watches everything around him, and you'll hear like a whistle or something. So you'll watch that with kids, but you won't watch House on Haunted Hill.
Because it's totally different. This one at the end, everything's fine, and it's like funny.
Oh, really?
It's like funny. Well, no, because she goes back to visit the phone, and it's where she buried it in the concrete.
Oh.
But it's not scary, or it's not creepy. There's nothing killing children in this one.
No.
I mean, it's rated TVYZ, so they're not going to be like, let's slaughter children in this children's show.
You just wait.
To get worse, they slaughter the children.
There's a whole episode of just them slaughtering children. It's TVY10.
Anyway,
keeps going up.
I do want to watch the new Halloween movie. You saw it, Chris. I don't know if we have time to really talk about it that much.
But I can say real quick because I don't want to give any spoilers away for it. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It didn't necessarily feel like a Halloween movie. Because in the Halloween movies, pretty much everybody is reactive to what he's doing and everything that's going on. There was a lot of people being proactive in this one. And almost kind of like flipping the coin around like on him and stuff. It was interesting. It was fun. Jamie Lee Curtis did a great job in it. The ending was it's okay. But overall it was fun. I recommend seeing it. They completely just leave out like every other Halloween movie. So it just follows the first Halloween movie.
Yeah,
so they do have little nods and stuff to all the other Halloween movies. If you're a fan of those, you can spot them.
This is supposed to be like a sequel to the first movie, and all the other movies didn't exist.
No. Which might be a good thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
yeah. I know some of Halloween 2. I like Halloween 2.
Yeah.
But it was cool. They got the original guy that played Michael Myers to come back and
really cool.
suit again. And there's like little guest appearances, voices you can hear from people that started in the first one.
Cool. I shot him 6 times. Is that in there?
No.
Oh.
They did.
That's from the doctor at the.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that would be from Halloween 2, so they wouldn't put that in there. So.
Yeah, because basically at the end of Halloween 1, he disappears and runs away, but how they start this one is he didn't get away. They actually caught him at the end of that one. He's back in an asylum for like 20 years or however long. 50, I don't know, whatever, how many years.
It's been 87 years.
20. Yeah.
Cool.
It's funny.
Yeah, I want to see it. We'll see if I get to see it or not. Luke Cage and Iron Fist was canceled this week. We can go on that another time. That's Netflix. I mean, I'm hoping they're bringing them back as Heroes for Hire for a new show, but we'll see. Not much to really talk about there. And then, was that all?
There's a show or a series. They called it like not a mini series, but it wasn't like a full-fledged series. But Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah,
this weekend.
Yeah.
Part 1. I think
Yeah, I
is what-
want to watch that.
Will there be
That doesn't look like it's for kids either.
will there be children and animals harmed in the making or the viewing?
I'm gonna say yes based off of the trailers.
I just want Happy
There's, like,
Sabrina
making
with
rituals. And
I want the
blood oaths
Happy
and-
Sabrina with the the goofy, funny talking cat. That's the one I like.
It's got the cat, but it's more of a demon type thing. It like
Ah.
turns into some. You see it like there's like a clip. You see like a demon looking creature behind like a cabinet or something, and it comes out, turns into the cat. And the ants, at least one of them is probably a Campbell.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, he talks about eating long pig.
There you go. So
Which is
that's it for this episode. Hey, so I played Friday the 13th, the game. It's free on PS4. I played a round of it. You guys got to get on there with me and let's play together because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I was immediately killed when I played it by Jason. Even had a shotgun or I had a rifle or something, and I'm just walking and I'm like, oh, I'm like, where's he at? I got this rifle, and then all of a sudden he was behind me and just like killed me. And I was like, oh,
yeah, there's
okay.
a lot of things. I've seen people play it. There's a lot of little things. There's like 2 ways you can win, and it's not just by shooting them.
Well,
There's more than 2 ways. You can escape by car, call the police, call the hunter, or hide for the entire night.
yeah, basically, just most of it's just running up the clock.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's sort of cool once you expire in the game. Once it gets you, you can look. You can just spectate, and it's like the cameras of the campground. So you can scroll through the different cameras. So you can like try to find where he's at and watch him like sneak up on people, and they'll be like running and screaming. So it's sort of funny to watch.
So I heard about so a friend of mine was playing it, and he was saying that there was this person cheating on it, and what they were doing was they were a camp counselor, and they had a car, and they would drive up to these houses, and Jason was right beside the person with the car, and like the person gets in the car, drives to a house, honks the horn or something, and somebody comes out, and Jason kills the person, and then they go to the next house. Honks the horn, somebody comes out, kills the next person. And they did this like 3 times. My friend was like, I'm out of here. This is stupid, and got out. But well, apparently there's some of that going on. I guess, I mean, why would, I don't know. I guess if you want to help your friend, but this is just weird.
I think we could play just us, and we could put it on Twitch and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could get some other people.
We need to get Jared to get it.
Yeah.
Before October runs out.
Yeah.
He would be fun to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're like an hour 23. This is a longer episode than I thought. So, anyways, so that's been episode 77 of I Am Geek. It wasn't what we thought it was going to be. We'll have the other episodes soon. But that's it. That's Halloween Horror Nights in a nutshell. With some other stuff thrown in our Netflix picks for the month, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of them I will not be watching.
Daredevil season 3, by the way.
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
I'm still behind on Luke Cage, Iron Fist, which probably means why they were canceled.
Yeah.
and so I'm like, do I bother watching the rest of those?
I actually thought Luke Cage ended pretty decent, but it starts off so poor. But I didn't finish Luke Cage because I don't know, just had.
So I need to find time because I don't want to watch the new Daredevil until I watch the other 2. I don't know.
You don't need to watch the other 2 before you watch Daredevil.
Oh really?
It doesn't affect it. Yeah.
And now it's like, what's the point of finishing those 2 if they're not going to be coming back? It seems like it.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Oh well.
Oh well.
Enough talking tonight for us. I'm sure you guys, the listeners, are. Thank you, listeners, for listening. I was, this last episode, the Disney one, like it's probably like our fastest growing one with
without
no
a
guest,
guest.
without a guest.
Yeah.
So, thanks for listening. Hopefully you listened to this one and you had a little fun, even though I whined to complain for half of it. But you got to hear me be scared of children.
True. Not true.
No.
Thank you for joining us for the last episode of I Am
As in its current form. It'll just be I Am Ryan.
Yeah.
You know what really grinds my gears?
That would be interesting. Just me. Be sort of boring, probably. I don't know. I talk to the voices in my head every day, so recording it would probably just,
Yikes.
you know.
Is that part of your ADHD?
We'll talk about that. I have so many problems. Anyway. All right. Until next time, this has been I Am Geek, episode 77. And we'll probably be back sooner than you realize. Like, we may put out 2 episodes this week.
Woof. What a week.
I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just hold on to them. Anyways, good night, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.